Good morning. It's Derby Jack, Tuesday morning. I'm not going to be long. I want to give you a maybe some kind of a visual or a something to think about. I'm thinking about what's happening in this world. I'm looking at here what's going on here in Nashville, and they keep the war against the homeless and how much it's costing Nashville. They have closed down quite a few of these places, and they say they've housed these people. And I really don't buy the housing because I've known people who are homeless who've gotten to those housings and they don't like it. They don't like what they're they're not. They got them in these homes, expecting them to be able to all of a sudden, you know, change the way they think and change the way they do things and be able to be an upright, person. And some of these people have been out in the road or out in homeless for years. I got people around me who don't bother nobody. They go up and down the street where I work and come in, maybe get a cup of water, go to the bathroom. If they don't bother me, they don't work, they don't mess up my place, I don't have a problem with them. There's a couple of them that I know that I even give them a sandwich every once in a while or something. I can't do much. I do what I can do. There's one guy, I give him a couple bucks here, help him buy his medication. He's got high blood pressure medication. Whenever he needs, he'll come. And if he can't get any money, then he's been trying to go on the side of the road and make money. And, so there's my heart with some of these people. But I always think when I talk to some of these people, their lives, they feel like they're in a prison. And when you really think about it, think about this planet. Think about where we are. Think about where we are in this time period. It's getting rough out there. It's getting uglier. There's not much out there that you call pretty. We've had people are starting out this thing about against the Jews again, all this crap they got in richer areas of here in Tennessee. They people are putting up anti-Semitic signs and stuff, which I think is a plan. I think it's just to get into the middle class and destroy them again, one way or the other. It's funny how these monkeys in high places have had all this contingency all the way for years. They know every step it's going to happen. So when something fails, they got another step ready to go. Now they're going to tear down the Jewish people. They're going to tear down neighborhoods and stuff, calling people racist and Semitic and this and that. They're going to get how they do things is making sure that they separate people. So when they say something, racism is racing its way up this, that's when they start it. When they say it on TV, racism starts. When they say that deaths are coming up, or that's when it starts. Isn't it funny that when they say it's going to happen, it happens? That's why these monkeys in high places don't vote their asses in. Don't listen to these, because they're going to tell you the same garbage over and over again. But the reason they do it, they themselves are in a prison. We're in a prison. I want you to think about something. Think about a man who gets arrested for something he never did. Something that nobody was able to prove. He had no alibi, but he didn't do anything. And somebody comes up dead or something. So he goes to prison for years. Finally, years later, technology comes in. They find DNA samples and find out that he wasn't the person. So for years, the man has been living as an innocent man in a prison, having to deal with being in a prison with a bunch of people who did do things, and having to deal with the garbage that's around him, having to deal with listening to all the crap and possibly not getting in a fight or possibly not getting stabbed or whatever. That's a prison, especially for someone who's innocent, someone who wasn't even there at the crime, who wasn't. So these things do happen, and fortunately, some people get out. A lot of them, when they finally get out, I've heard stories. There were some of them. In many cases, you don't hear about these stories. You always hear about the ones that survive. But there are many people, after they get out, they can't handle the world. They get out and realize the world is just as bad, especially nowadays, as the prison was. And then they don't understand why they're out, because there's no justice. Being that they got out, that people look at them a little strange now, even though they didn't do anything. They get and exonerated. I can't say the word. You know what I'm talking about. And they get and they get back out, and people help them for a while, but they can't catch up. And then there's others who, their family take them in. They're older now. Maybe they don't have to work. They just, live the rest of their life. And some of them, they see, and they try to enjoy what they have left. Try to catch up. So in both cases, it's people who have been in prison and in some ways still are. And how I feel about this world, I feel that we are in a prison. I've always heard that term before, the prison planet. The aliens set the prison planet up for us humans. But it is a prison planet until we're released. And I want to think about that for a moment. I want you to think about that. What is your release? Your release is being able to get out of this prison. The flesh is prison. This prison has to be changed into something that's more freedom-like, with power, with majesty. See, we're in a body that's fallen. God can't even look at this body. God can't look at, I don't care if you're a beautiful woman. I don't care if you're a handsome man. God can't look at you because you're ugly. And I'm going to say it again. If you're drinking coffee or eating food, I'm sorry. But God can't watch you, look at you directly. He has to look at you through the eyes of Jesus, because you are a filthy rag. Do you know what a filthy rag is? It was a minstrel rag. That was a filthy rag. And God looks at us, our flesh, the same way. That's why he can't look at us. That's like when he looks down from his heaven, the eyes of Jesus, who was here with us, who lived with us. That's why he's up on the right hand of the Father, because he's the one looking down, and Jesus and God is seeing us through the eyes of the man. That's the only way. Because we are in a body, a prison. He can't even, he can reach our soul, and then someday he will be able to have our soul back. But until then, our soul is trapped in a prison. Not only that, our bodies are trapped in a physical prison also. We're in a prison of a fallen world. We're in a prison of fallen man. We're in a prison of death and destruction. We're in a prison of hatred. We're in a prison of division. We're in a prison of death. So every day that you live in this prison is a day closer to dying in a prison. And many of you who are out there in the world, many of the people out there who are not saved, who do not have the spirit of salvation in them, do not have the Christ, do not believe, they will die in a prison. And when they die, they will go to another prison. So they were born into a prison, did not escape. See, I look at my life in a way, I'm already been given a ticket of freedom. I'm waiting to be released. That's all. And that's what we all are. Us people who are truly born again, we're waiting for that release. To get away from this prison, to get out of this prison, and to get out of this prison. This prison is full of anger, pain, torture, disrespect. They don't recognize the truth in this prison. They manipulate you. They keep you pushed back against a wall. They want to control you. They want to pin you up. Remember, stay home, segregate yourselves, roll up your sleeve when you're told to, step in line 6 inches from one another, 6 feet. So there you go, 3 feet from one another, right? Remember when it all started? Don't touch stuff because it'll get you sick. Our prison guards. Corporations, Vanguard, BlackRock. Religiousness is a prison. Did you not know that? For you people who are over religious, not spiritual, but religious, you're in a prison. You go to a church it's a little 4-room box. And you talk about God. Yeah, you do your little Bible studies. And yet you go out there and you mingle yourself with the world. You mingle yourself in the prison. You accept the prison. You live in the prison system. And you're happy. You're tolerating it. See, I and many people like us, why we people on YouTube speak out? Because we don't tolerate it. We can't tolerate it. We don't like being lied to. We don't like being treated like third-class citizens. We don't like our God being disrespected. We don't like our lives being dismantled. We don't like our lives being tossed to and fro. We don't like that there are people trying to push us against the wall and also trying to kill us. We don't like that. We don't like this prison. And guess what? Each and every one of us who do believe, this is our key to the door. This is the key that gets us out. And it gets you out now. You are in a waiting room of the prison, basically waiting to be released. Don't go back into the system. Don't allow the system to draw you in. Don't allow the system to take your autonomy. Don't allow the system to take your will. Don't allow the system to take your faith, especially your faith. Because if it takes your faith, everything else unravels. Let me say that again. If your faith is taken from you, if the Spirit of God is ripped away from you, if you've allowed yourself to fall away, to go back into the prison world, and to listen to the human monkey, and to listen to all the bullshit and the lies that they tell you the world is, and how they mold the world to be a cheap imitation of itself. Remember we talk about, the resets, Tartarian stuff? Well, giants or whatever, they knew how to build things. They knew how to make things beautiful. We're a pitiful piece of crap here in this world. Look at our cities, all glass, ready to fall down, and in a single. You can probably take a slingshot and knock one of them big buildings down. That's how cheap and tawdry we are. We're a cheap imitation of ourselves, and it's a shame. I go out here and I look at my fellow human being. I'm embarrassed. I'm very embarrassed. The young people, they're embarrassing. I'm most human beings out there, the way they act, wearing them damn tampons on their face, listening to all the bullshit, even when they find out it's been a lie all this time, they still listen to it and follow it. That's pitiful. You are in a prison. You have given your autonomy, you have given your will over to the prison, the prison monkeys. The ones roaming the halls, the ones with the little badges on. The ones who are pompous asses. The ones who think that their shit don't stink. These are the ones who are controlling you. These are your prison guards. The Pope. Pervy Joe, the president. All the biochemical madmen who like to make you roll up your sleeve and poison your ass. To see when or if you may flatline. Yeah. So these are the things that are happening. And you're in a prison. And the only escape is salvation. So it's going to be up to you. Follow the world. Stay a good prisoner. Be a good boy. Maybe you'll get a reprieve. Not. Oh, I was telling you about Jim Breuer. I don't know if I told you this. Jim Breuer is yesterday I was working, but I was watching a video or two. I came across a Jim Breuer. He's a very funny comedian, if you ever known him. But anyway, he's talking about he was on stage and he's talking about the spy balloon. And it was one portion he's sitting here saying, when they let it go, Japanese, Chinese, they're like, oh, we got all this technology, but now we release balloon, send it over. we're supposed to be technologically advanced too, right? We got a military. We got all these satellites. We got spies in the sky. We got drones. We got missiles. We got tanks. We got boats. We got ships. We got all kinds. We got spaceships that hit the dome. But we got all this stuff. And yet, he sits here and goes, we get the balloon is found in Nebraska. It was seen in Nebraska, the middle of the country. What happened to the spy satellite? What happened to the satellite's visions? They didn't see it until it got to Nebraska. Which I thought was, yeah, you're right. It had to go past Hawaii. And he said, people in Hawaii, they're rowing their boats, they're hula, 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 right? And he gets here, he goes, look up and go, ooh, spy satellite, you know. But he gets here. And then you ask government, what are you going to do about it? Well, we've just been tracking it. Well, are you going to shoot it down? Well, we don't know. There may be some poisons and stuff in it, and it may come down and spread across the country. And he goes, meanwhile, in Palestine, Ohio, I just thought it was, I laughed my butt off. I thought it was the greatest bit I've ever heard. And he's right. Yeah, you know, they worry about that. I mentioned that too. But when you think about it, they didn't care about starting a big plume in Palestine, Ohio, did they? That wasn't a mistake. The trains derailing with all the chemicals back to back wasn't a mistake. That was an error. That was purposeful. Do you know what? The people or the person who decided to do that is a murderer. Did you not know that? Did you not realize that? The person who allowed it to happen and doesn't get caught. Guess who gets to be their judge? If they don't get caught here and they don't go to jail here and they don't, get caught and get persecuted by the fullest extent of the law here for what they've done, then they have to wait till they die and go to heaven or go to hell. They have to wait to be judged so they can go to hell. Think about that for a moment. Isn't that something? So they're not going to escape judgment. Fauci, the Carr people, the WHO, the governments, all the traitors against humanity and God, or against God and humanity. Let's put it in a proper perspective. They ain't going to get let go. They're going to go to prison. They are running the prison here on earth, but they won't be running the prison in hell. So think about that for a moment. The asylum holders are going to be in the asylum, be in hell. So don't sit there and look upon them and sit there and say, God, I wish I was in their space. You don't want to be in their place. Just because they got all the nice clothes, they got all the nice houses and all the nice vacations and all the good things in life that you can't seem to get because of them, don't worry. Don't worry. Their day is coming. Their day is coming. And here's the thing. When it happens to them, you know what's going to be surrounding them? Pain, torture, flames, death, over and over again. Or the way I always like to look at it, a dark room, unembodied. You have now been put somewhere where nobody remembers you. God will never come back for your ass. He will never forgive you. And you're just there forever and ever, not able to move, not able to do anything. Like I said, you're disembodied. You're just a soul. You're just a person. And you remember why you're there. That's hell. Forgotten. Nothing. Never to be talked to, never to be resurrected, never to be anything. You're just there. Forever and ever. Nothingness. Forgotten. Not even your name isn't even mentioned. If it isn't mentioned in the book of life, it'll never be mentioned. So all you people who've done all this ferocious stuff, your payment is nothingness. You're a nothing. You're a deadbeat nothing. So you monkeys in high places, Pervy Joe, you're a nothing. Anthony, you're definitely a nothing. Then you got the idiots over at Car Dead Card. You got all the people at the Who Band. You got all these governments and all these entrepreneurs, the Gates, Clintons, the murderers, Clintons, Soros, and all them, the economic forum idiots, Oh, they're going to pay. Oh, good God, you don't even know how well. You'll be happy to know that they're going to get theirs at the end. When it all is said and done, when they finally go over, they're going to get theirs. Don't worry about it. The judgment will be God's, and judgment will be swift, and judgment will be at the fullest extent of God's law. So they're not escaping shit. Oh, actually, they won't, because they'll be from one shithole to another shithole. So there you go. So that's what I thought I just mentioned to you. Y'all think about that. Think about your position. You're free. If you're a Christian like me and you got the Holy Spirit power, you're already in a waiting room just waiting to be released. That's all. This prison can't hold you. This prison can't control you. This prison can't deny you what you already have. Prison can't take from you because you're too powerful in spirit. Prison can't mold you because you're unmoldable. 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 I don't know, I'm making up words today. So you can't be moved. You can't be molded. You can't be pulled and pushed because you're free already in mind and in heart and in soul. This can't hold you, and this can't hold you. For when God comes when God comes to take you, you are now free from this prison, and the prison of the mind. You are no longer in prison for being innocent, because you were found innocent, and none of this you deserve. None of this I deserve. So don't accept it. Always push it away. Always recognize that what's going on in the world is evil. There is nothing good. Especially when they try to say, well, you need to be tolerant. That's an evil statement. You never be tolerant. They got all these special events here for all the LBQs, and they did something here. I just think it was appalling. A musical event for the LGBTQ. Tolerance, everybody being acceptable. I'm sorry. I don't accept that. I don't accept sin. I will not accept sin in my life. I won't do it. My prison system, my prison time that I'm here will not accept the sin of the world. There ain't no way. You can't come to me and tell me I should be tolerant against gay people. I should be tolerant against people who have been potato heads and interchanged their parts. I'm not going to be tolerable of that. I'm supposed to be tolerable of people who are stupid, who don't have any training for anything, who are going to go out in the world and fail. I'm supposed to be tolerant of that. Children being turned into gays, being turned into homosexuals, being destroyed from the heart, from the inside out, taking their innocence away. I don't accept that. I will never accept that. And if you're a true born-again Christian, you can't accept that. Teachers telling children, I heard something about a school where teachers telling children that their essays and stuff, that there's only one right answer when it's talking about eating bugs because you want to save the world. I don't tolerate that. I will never tolerate that. That was a witch. And most of those women and men who are in these colleges and in schools anymore are a bunch of practicing witches and warlocks. If I had a child right now, they would never, ever go to those places of indoctrination. That's the beginning of your prison sentence. Having to learn all the bullshit lies of the world in those prison systems. The children leave these prison systems and they're fucked up in the heads. That's right. I said the word, fucked up in the heads. They are not capable of doing anything. They're worthless. And it's like I always joke around and say, when it comes to my job, most of them I'd take them into the woods, tie them to a tree with a loose knot, give them a phone that's almost dead, and see if they survive. Oh yeah, not only that, they can't get any reception. They'd hang themselves somehow. See, that's prison. That when your children are looking forward to all the bullshit of the world, graduate to learn how to be a nothing. To be feely touchy. That's another thing I won't tolerate. I don't tolerate all this emotional bullshit because it's propagated. You people who think that you should be treated with respect because you change your sex, or you think you have all different types of sex organs, and you think that you're this and you're that and you're this. If you don't know who the hell you are, you're a ball of confusion. And I'm sorry, I know I'm a man. I'm not a woman. I got balls. I got a penis. I don't have breasts. I'm a man. I got an Adam's apple. Yes, I'm a man. Okay? There's no confusion there. And if you think because you don't feel good about yourself at the age of 5, and they're going to sit there and tell that child, you as a child, oh, well, maybe you don't feel good because you're not feeling good and you're not in the right package. Maybe you need to change your package, you know? Wear a dress if you're a boy. If you're a girl, wear a pair of jeans and be proud and push these things in, you know? Put a sock down there, make yourself look like a man. Sick people. It's a sick, sick world. So anyway, I got to get ready to go to my jail. I live in 3 jails. Most of you do too. You have to live in a jail, in a prison body. You got to live in a prison world, and you probably go to a prison job, like me. And you make money, sort of like nowadays. It ain't no different than having a prison where they give you a couple bucks just for being a good prison citizen. They give you a couple bucks so you can buy some candy or a soda, you know. And that's what the world's being like, you know. We'll take your job from you, but we'll give you an allowance. So anyway, let me get off here. I love y'all. Think about these things because it's truth. Derby Jack out. See you all on the other side.